up, everybody? It is Friday, September 9th, 2016. This is Radio Tokyo. I'm Jonathan. And if you're watching at home, we have a new standard live background. And now, of course, it's also the same video that we have that is our welcoming video to YouTube. And it's been posted to Facebook. And I call this Project Perfect Blossom. And of course, I stole the idea from The Last Samurai. Anyway, I'm here. Nick's here. We actually have a very, very interesting show today because there's a lot of shit that's gone on while Nick has been being repaired in the shop, like the robot shop where he was built. So, hi Nick, how did the repairs go? Are you back? Are you a normal Nick bot again?
Well, as normal, I'm a human. But yeah, I feel better. And Legion's been keeping us busy. So busy. So much to do. So much to see. It's beautiful. Legion is just beautiful. It is, yeah.
It actually
I
is.
just want, I want to hug it and kiss it and tell it that I'll never leave it ever again.
Well, see, since you already broached the discussion of World of Warcraft Legion, it was announced, I think, yesterday or today. So I'm not exact. I don't remember off the top of my head. Apparently, Blizzard has decided to go back to actually announcing subscriber numbers, and Legion sold 3.3 million copies on day one. 3.3 million copies on day one. That's like astounding. Now, uh, I'm willing to bet you. In fact, I will bet you every last copper I have in game that is news that is including new subscribers, brand new people coming back, and I know for a fact that a huge chunk of that are returning players. In fact, I recruited someone for a guild. Well, didn't exactly recruit them this morning. They're actually going to speak to their wife about joining the guild. But anyway, they're back after a 2 year long break. 2 years, okay? One of my real life friends, in fact, the person who got me into the game, has not actively played since Mr. Pandora, so he's about a year and a half, 2 years behind. He has said that out of the hundreds of games he has access to on PlayStation, on Steam, on Facebook, on his phone, everything else, the only one he wants to play is World of Warcraft, and I don't blame him. Legion is goddamn amazing.
It's it has been everything that we've wanted for since Cataclysm. It's Blizzard finally. I don't know what they were doing. I don't know if maybe they decided to say fuck it with Warlords and will make Legion awesome to make up for it. But whatever you did, however painful the wait was, it was worth it. It was worth it.
It is, and see, like here's the thing, and okay, first off, we did acknowledge a while back at some point in time that Blizzard has just went ahead and publicly fucking said that Warlords of Dinner was a complete mistake, and it was. I'm sorry, it was. For everything that I actually enjoyed about the expansion, yes, I did enjoy some things about Warlords of Draenor. I won't lie. It was a
Yeah,
complete letdown. It was a genuine letdown. It really was. Um, Legion has surpassed that. Legion, holy shit. Okay, I cannot believe I must say this, but I'm gonna go ahead and say it publicly. Legion is like 2 weeks old now, and it is my favorite expansion. I have been a uh, Wrath of the Lich King fanboy since day one because I love the storyline in that. I love the playstyle. Legion has already surpassed that already,
I
and that's saying
I'm
something
gonna
about this
wait.
expansion.
I'm gonna wait until I see the raids before I officially declare that Legion is my favorite expansion. But yeah, the leveling process has been amazing. The dungeons are fun. I'm having a blast, and I just couldn't be more happy with Legion, honestly.
Well, okay,
I really
here, here's the thing about raiding, okay? Actually, there is a world raid boss that is summonable. You may have, in fact, you may have seen this wander around Facebook or whatever. Not anyway. There is a boss that was known to be in the game. In the beta, he was always up. All you had to do is go find him and kill him. On live, however, you have to do a complicated series of bullshit to actually get him to show up. And then when he shows up, he will start ripping you a new asshole. His name is Cosimoth the Hungering. Okay. Now, supposedly he drops a mount and a pit. No one thus far has seen anything other than the pit. But it's still kind of fucking awesome to think about this. Now, if Blizzard put shit like that in the game, and the dungeons uh, are honestly, I'll be truthful here. The dungeon experience is more important to me than raiding right now. The reason being that I didn't give a goddamn about it during Warlords. I just didn't. I stopped caring. High Mall let me down, and that was after having also had a few negative experiences during Mr. Pandaria. Like it's progressively gotten worse and less interesting to raid in World of Warcraft to me. It really has. But the dungeon experiences has been amazing. Uh, there are some difficulties to them, but all the little facets to the game, like for example in Blackrook Hold, which oh my god, as a lore junkie myself, getting to walk into Blackrook Hold and see what it looks like, what Blizzard says it looks like, because it's a little different than it was in my mind's eye, but it's fine. I don't care. It's beautiful. It is a long ass dungeon though, long dungeon. In fact, we ran it the other day, uh, and I think it took us about 3 and 4 minutes per boss to down them, and there's like 4 bosses, so you're looking at around 20 minutes just to kill the bosses, okay? And that's interspersed with all the trash. It was maybe a half hour or longer just to get through this one dungeon with like 4 bosses. In a Warlords dungeon, one that had that had 4 bosses like that, that's 15 minutes total. I mean, goddamn, this is generally a lengthy dungeon, and we know in 7.1 that we're getting an even longer one, a 9 boss dungeon in a revamped Karazhan, and I want that. I want that long dungeon experience. That is like a miniature raid to me. And if that is what all the dungeons are going to, because I'll admit I haven't ran everything yet. I've actually been taking my time, and I'm amazed that some people are already geared and doing mythics and everything like that. It blows my mind because I've been taking my time and going through and doing as many artifact quests as I can on all my characters, and I've got a lot of goddamn characters to do them on. Okay, but it's keeping me interested. It makes me want to get on and play. Like I started dreaming about World of Warcraft again. I haven't done that a lot. I mean, literally going to bed and having dreams about doing shit in this game, and I have not done that in a long, long time. It's that good.
I actually had a dream where I was wielding the Ashbringer, which was fun. It was cool because I haven't really had a dream ever like that before, and it's I don't know what they're going to do after the artifact system because it seems like I don't know how you top this exactly, and it concerns me a bit for the future. But it's so much fun to wield the Ashbringer, to see people walking around with all of these artifacts that are, special, that they're weapons that we wanted to use the whole to see what they can do, and it's just amazing to think about. It's amazing to see it happening. I love my Ashbringer, and I mean, eventually I know I have to go power up my holy weapon too, which is also really cool. I really like Tear's Hand. Um, but I love my Ashbringer, and I know you hate Red Paladins, but I don't care. I love my Ashbringer.
It's okay. Look, it's not that I hate Red Paladins. It's that I don't enjoy Red Paladins, I've said it for years now. No real paladin will be Retribution. I'm sorry, you wouldn't be. I lost interest in Retribution when they removed the Shockedin from the game at the end of Wrath of the Lich King. That's what I was. That's all I ever was, and I missed that. And I don't like. I've never liked playing Pure Holy. And I damn sure won't ever. I will never play Retribution. I never will. I'm sorry, I won't. Um, I like being a Protection Paladin. And to me, like just like you and I predict, well, it wasn't so much a prediction; it was an admission. We knew that everybody who plays a paladin is going to go ret, and they're going to get the Ashbringer. And honestly, I'm fucking tired of seeing it. I'm tired of seeing it on everybody. Like, I wish someone at some point in time would be like, okay, I'm gonna go transmog this because, whatever, because I don't want to be like everyone else. But it's fine. I completely understand the special snowflake feeling you get from having it because it's the Ashbringer. It's the Ashbringer. Like, you are now the
Yeah,
Ashbringer, and I get that. That's awesome, and I don't want anyone to feel like, well, I have to go transmog this because it's like everyone else. Even though it annoys me to see it so much and it pisses me off that that's something that you can now own in the game, I'm fine with it. I'm actually really cool with it. I'm the only problem is oh my god, the only problem is I have an orc shaman, and this shaman happens to be enhancement. That's all this shaman has been since it became what I would refer to as being an adult. And by that I'm talking 90 on up. Okay, I did the Doomhammer quest chain on the shaman, and I was so bored out of my mind, I fell asleep 3 times in the beginning, and that was just getting to the point, like that was just the this is the shit that every shaman does type stuff. Okay, the only thing interesting I found about the experience of a shaman setting up the order hall was the fact that you do a pet battle with one of Thrall's uh, uh, wolves' pets, and you basically beat the shit out of this little puppy, and it becomes your best friend, and then you get all these amazing toys. Now, the Maelstrom is a depressing shithole, okay? But you get probably some of the best music in Legion in there. Okay, I'm not gonna spoil the actual artifact quest line for you myself, but I will say that it makes me completely hate Thrall. There is no point in time in the future where I see myself ever liking the character of Thrall again. I hate him. I hate him. I
I,
actively wish he would die. Okay, so no, there.
I want to know. I want to know what happened because I know you've disliked Thrall since the whole Warlord thing with him and Garage fighting, and yeah, you're right. It is Thrall's fault. And I've always said that. We disagree on the Garage's level of fault, but I've always said that it is primarily Thrall's fault. But I really want to know what happened that makes you just hate him so much more.
Make an
Like,
enhancement shaman, do the Doomhammer quest line, and you will see exactly what it's like. I don't know a single person who's done it who thought it was the greatest thing ever. I mean, sure, you get to have the Doomhammer. That's one of the major weapons in lore, and I kind of wish
I'd
that.
say it's probably top three weapons. Well, maybe top four. The top four weapons I can think of off the top of my head are the Staff of Atiash, Frostborn, Ashbringer, and Doomhammer. Those are what I
Well,
would
well,
call
well, well.
the
You have to
main war weapons.
you have to add in Gorehowl to that. And okay, here's the
Oh
thing.
yeah,
Hang
well,
on, hang on. As amazing as it is to be able to actually get Gorehowl, because you could get Gorehowl in Karazhan, it's like the flavor text is this is the axe of Grom Hellscream. Sure, that's amazing. I enjoyed the fact that I got to loot Gorehowl. But um, yeah, think about that for a second. Gorehowl, the weapon of the orc who saved every other orc from the blood curse, and pretty much basically saved all of Azeroth, drops from a raid boss in Karazhan. There's nothing epic about it. Compare that fact to Doomhammer. That's the level of letdown this is, because Doomhammer is far older than Gorehowl is. It's arguably more important lore-wise, and yeah, that's what disappoints me. But I I will go in like sometime later. I'll go into what disgusts me so much about Thrall, but because otherwise, if we don't, we won't get through the rest of the stuff we have on the show today.
Yeah. Let's see. There was one thing. When you were talking about the world boss, I thought I know you said it was just complicated bullshit to summon it, but I thought that was amazing. I thought that was one of the coolest things ever. That we had to discover how to summon the world boss, and it wasn't what people were thinking it was going to be either. It was the most World of Warcraft thing ever, is because people were looking for a mount. They were looking for a different mount than the one that they supposedly can get. And they ended up summoning a world boss. Tell me that is not like the League of Explorers
It
going
is
to
cool, and
Ulduar
that's the thing.
and
Okay, I'm
summoning an
I am not
old
saying
god.
that that is not cool. Like, there's no point in time I'm not going to say it. The reason I'm saying it's complicated bullshit is because apparently to get him, there's these orbs or whatever, and like the clues to where they are is on some map table somewhere. So you have to go find the orbs, and you have to do this and 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 this, and it winds up being genuinely complicated bullshit. Okay, but I mean, for that being how you summon him now, sure, that's fucking amazing. I like that idea, and I like the fact that he's not just there automatically like he was in the beta. That's cool. And yes, it is generally a World of Warcraft thing. But Nick, we have other shit to talk about.
I, I know, it's just Legion is so fucking cool, and we haven't had a chance to really talk about it for a while, so
Well, we
yeah.
will eventually. So
Okay. Okay, I'll be. Wait, there's one more thing. One more thing.
no,
One
no,
last thing.
we're
One,
moving on. We're moving on.
one last thing. Have you read the latest steamy romance novel?
We're moving on, Nick. We're moving on. We will talk about World of Warcraft later.
You 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 you,
Nick, we're moving on. We're moving on.
you have to tell me.
Because
You
I
have to
want to
tell
big
me.
Nick. We're moving on because I want to
But
talk about Nick. God damn it! I have waited like a week to do this story. I want to talk about the Colin Kaepernick thing.
oh, that thing.
Yeah, that thing.
I guess. All right.
Okay, look. Here's my take on this. Okay, I understand that you're supposed to stand up during the national anthem. I get that. Okay, but I don't know, like 100% of Americans don't. When they're at home, especially when they're at home. Now, at a sporting event or whatever, like let's say you're at uh, a high school football game or whatever. Sure, you're going to stand. You're in public, okay? Uh, the problem with this being is that the quote unquote requirement to stand comes from the national flag code, which is it's a law, but it even though it's like a codified law, it is not enforceable. There is jack shit that can be done about you not standing up during the Pledge of Allegiance or the national anthem. Now, you might piss some people off, and that's fine, but there's nothing that's going to happen. Like, you're not going to go to jail for it, okay? Uh, and the thing is, I agree with Colin Kaepernick. He chose to sit down in protest of what he views as being uh, like unfair instances and treatment of people in the United States. I totally agree with that. He has every right to do that. And the reason I say this is because the First Amendment guarantees him the right to do so. And I'm sorry to everyone in my family and everyone else who is just so upset and says that he needs to quit his job. I guarantee you that during the Olympics, when the United States was winning all the gold medals and our anthem was played, you didn't bother to stand up for 2 weeks, okay? In fact, I guarantee you, the next time you watch a Major League Baseball game or anything else in the comfort of your armchair at home, you're not gonna fucking stand up. So you don't get to bitch at him because he's in public because he chose not to stand and exercise his First Amendment rights in the Constitution, guaranteed to us by our founding fathers, and then act like the hypocrite. Okay, that's exactly what this is to me. It's a whole bunch of hypocrites bitching about something that doesn't even fucking. In fact, there was things going on during this time that didn't get enough national news time. Like, for example, the fact that a quarter of our national budget has been misplaced by the military. Okay, this was what we talked about was Colin Kaepernick rather than some important shit like that. Or how about the fact that we have a presidential candidate right now who doesn't know where a center for a war is going on over in Syria, but he's just such a popular individual. No, 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 no. We talked about a man who exercised his First Amendment rights, and people are angry about it, saying he's just a fucking racist. Okay, he's not a racist. Okay, and I watched a video yesterday of this young black woman, and I mean young. She's maybe 19, may, probably not older than 20, 21 years old. Okay, uh, in the Marines. I'm assuming Marines. I could be wrong, but anyway, on a base, and she was genuinely scared, and she's sitting there, outside just before 7 o'clock, just before the colors are raised, and she's sitting there, and she's visibly shaking, and she's like, "So scared, I'm so scared, but I'm gonna sit right here when the colors go up because this is a woman who's in the military. Okay, she's in the military. She's willing to go fight for our country." And she's saying that Colin Kaepernick is right. Now, the military is supposed to stand up, and supposedly the reactions from people who are also militaries or actually just the circle of jerks around the military were saying that if they ever saw this, they would beat the living shit out of her. They would physically assault a 19-year-old black woman because she's exercising her constitutional freedoms. That's the country we live in. We have problems here that need to be solved, and I'm sorry, but that kind of "I'm gonna beat your ass, bro" type behavior needs to go away. Because, like I said earlier, half these people don't fucking stand up in their own home for the national anthem, and it's so important that we obey that law.
It is every bit his right to sit down for the national anthem. It's just there's no question about that. That's not disrespecting the military. That's exactly what the military fights for. It literally fights for people to do things, for people to have the freedom to do things that you don't agree with, as long as they don't hurt you. And I'm sorry, but him sitting his ass down during the national anthem does not hurt anyone. I I don't know how you can possibly say that it hurts someone, because it doesn't. So yeah, that's the whole idea about America and liberty, and hell, that's libertarian ideas and conservative values right there, right? Am I
Exactly,
wrong?
exactly. And like I said, this is a non-issue. It really shouldn't fucking matter. I'm sorry. Okay? I agree with the man. He has every right to sit down. Now, if it were me, I would have stood up just because, it's me. This is me we're talking about. But I'm
Yeah,
not
like
him. I,
I
I,
would
I am
I
not a
would
black
all
man in the United States, okay? And as much empathy as understanding as I have, and I believe me, I have a lot. I have never experienced what a black man in this country has experienced. Okay? So I can't envision myself not standing up. The reason I do it is because it's just it's like, okay, here's the thing. As an atheist, I still say Merry Christmas. I still say bless you and stuff like that sometimes because that is a culturally appropriate thing for me to do. It's just the way I was raised. It's just a habit for me to do it. Okay? And I agree. Okay, go ahead and stand. It didn't hurt anything. It's like saying the Pledge of Allegiance. I sometimes will say under God, even though I don't think it needs to be there. That's just one of the things that I do. Okay? Because to me, there are other ways of expressing my distaste and my disgust about what's going on in our country than not standing for the national anthem. That's me. but I completely understand uh, his reasoning in not doing it, and I fully fucking support him not doing it. I really do.
Yeah, and I mean, as far as the protest goes, I completely understand why he's doing it. I'm the one thing that bugs me, and bugs me about certain parts of any of the protests is I completely understand saying that black men and women are treated unfairly because, well, frankly, they are. However, I very rarely see anyone suggesting how to fix some of these things. And that's perhaps one of the things that I would like to see demanded more during the protest to make them more productive, like demanding body cameras on all policemen that constantly should be on, or
Well, see, look,
and
okay,
if they're not on,
here's
and if they're
okay.
not
Look,
on,
hang on,
then
hang on, hang on.
the
Here's the
person
thing
should
about the
be
body cams on police
innocent.
officers. I'm in favor of it. I'm generally 100% in favor of having body cams on police officers. And having ran for public office here in town, I kind of had to go speak to our police chief, and I found out yes, all our police officers have body cams on them. Okay, they all do, and the instances at which they have had to deal with people saying bullshit about them has gone down, I would say 95%. Okay? The instances where someone
Yeah,
has said, well, your cops were racist. They treated me like shit. Da, 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 da. It's like, okay, let's go review the video. And of course, it's not there. It's not there. That does solve all the problems. And you said you'd be interested in seeing more people make suggestions. Well, uh, I see it all the time. I really see people make suggestions all the time. In fact, I'm part of a group here locally that's trying very hard to be a solution to problems like this, so that there won't ever be a need for a young black man to sit down during the national anthem and be called a racist.
yeah, and I mean, I see a lot of people. Maybe my thing is, whenever I hear about the protests, I hear about what they're doing, and it's not, I don't hear about what they want to happen. And I think the conversation needs to change because some of these things are completely reasonable and help not only prevent instances of police abuse, but it helps the police too. Like we just said with body cameras, it genuinely helps police because there's evidence that, they did their job right. Um,
Well, speaking of racism and solving all the white people problems in the world, let's talk about my favorite thing that's happened recently, and that is the Comedy Central roast of Rob Lowe. Not that
you
we're not
mean
having an
the
important
Comedy
conversation.
Central
I
roast
just
of,
want to talk about that.
you mean the Comedy Central roast of Ann Coulter?
Yes, fuck that bitch. Jesus Almighty.
Uh,
Okay. Um.
I like how it was supposed to be a roast for someone else, but people just hate her so much that it just turned into a roast for her.
Well, see, look. Here's the thing. Like, I was watching it, and I got maybe halfway through, and I kind of just turned it off for a little while because I wanted to take a nap, to be truthful. In a 90-minute roast, they maybe, like everyone up on stage, maybe spent a minute, 2 minutes at most, saying anything about Ann Coulter, and that's having said everything about everyone else. Okay, so you're looking at, I don't know, 20 minutes or so about Ann Coulter, maybe tops. And that's including everything else said about everybody else. Because everybody got like 5 or 10 minutes, whatever. But I want to read this thing. Let's see, where was it? Okay, this is from the Good Men Project. Our lives are so filled with hate speech that earlier this week, Comedy Central offered up 90 minutes of entertainment based on a woman being called a cunt 19 times, and a racist cunt just for added impact, and then being told that she really ought to kill herself. And then from Vanity Fair, on Saturday night, Comedy Central taped another one of its annual roasts, this time skewering Rob Lowe. As the roasts usually do, this one got pretty nasty. Nothing was off limits, not even 9/11 or Lowe's sex tape he made in 1988 with a 16-year-old girl. And again, it was supposed to be a roast of actor Rob Lowe, but it was conservative political commentator Ann Coulter who drew most of the heat. Quote, Ann describes herself as a polemicist, but most people call her a cunt, said Pete Davidson in Saturday Night Live before muttering a racist cunt under his breath. Comedian Nikki Glazer called Coulter a real-life supervillain and told her the only person you'll ever make happy is the Mexicans that dig your grave. Yeah, they had jokes like that in there because it's a roast. It's a roast. You're supposed to say mean things about
I,
somebody. You're supposed to. That's what a
it,
roast is.
the Mexican digging the grave was probably my favorite one. That's,
It
that's
wasn't
hilarious.
it wasn't so bad, but
That's
I think
hilarious.
what might possibly be worse is Jimmy Carr's leading joke. Ann Coulter is such a hatchet-faced, hateful bitch that uh, I don't even remember a word for it. Anyway, point being, he turns around and looks at her and says, "But late, and it's not too late. You can improve. You can always kill yourself." I lost my shit at that joke because the camera turned towards her, and you know how she normally has this dead skeletal look on her face. It was even that like
Yeah,
she was trying to smile, but it was one of those here's like three or four teeth, and I'm just being polite. Like you could visibly register the anger on this woman's face at being told to kill herself. And sincerely, I would have uploaded video of this for the show and play it if it wouldn't get us a copyright restriction. Because, god damn, it's amazing. I would suggest to everyone to actually go. I would try and work in like a clip of it right now, but I don't want to deal with the fact that we might get copyright restrictions on it, to be honest. But it's fucking amazing. It's amazing. They said some terrible things about her. Of course, calling her a cunt. Oh well, you can't do that. Da, 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 whatever. But realistically here, I am not in the portion of the
I,
program yet where I get to hear her joke.
I want to comment on something though, because something really confuses me. Because I hear all the time about uh, how political correctness is ruining the country, and people can't take a joke, and blah 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 blah. And then when it's against someone that's conservative in nature or conservative leaning, people seem to get really outraged about it. And is it just me, or is that a double standard? That feels like a double standard.
It is a double standard. It's exactly what it is. People get angry. Oh, and see, here's the thing. Here's the thing. People are saying that Ann Coulter sat there and looked beautiful the entire time. Have you seen this bitch? Have you seen this woman? Jesus
She
Christ
scares
Almighty!
me.
Ann Coulter did not jump off the top of the ugly tree and hit every branch on the way down. Ann Coulter is the ugly tree. Holy fuck! I mean, look at
She
her. She looks like a
she
living
genu
skeleton.
she genuinely terrifies me. When I see her face, I instinctively change the channel. Not because of what she has to say, just because of the cold, dead look in her eyes. I feel like she's going to try to suck my soul out.
See, here's the funny thing is they made a joke about her owning. No, I'm sorry. It wasn't her. It was I don't remember who it was. Anyway, uh, goddamn. Look, for all these years, I thought that James Carville was the ugliest thing you'd ever see on TV, and let's be honest, James Carville is circus ugly, but Ann Coulter is far, far uglier of a person than he is, I'm not just saying that because she's unattractive. Okay, sure, if you Photoshop the bitch the right way, she'll be beautiful. That's fine. But I mean, she's ugly to the core to me. There is nothing that she has ever said that I have really appreciated. And they joked uh, about last year's roast having Martha Stewart. So last year they had someone who would tell you how to clean sheets, and then they had this year someone who just cuts holes in them. Think about that one for a second.
I mean,
Sure, it was sure it was unsubtle. It was.
I genuinely wouldn't. Well, I genuinely wouldn't support putting a bag on someone's head, but there are exceptions. There are exceptions.
Have you seen Ann Coulter?
Yes, yes, I have.
If there was ever someone who deservedly walked around with a sheet over their head, it's that ugly ass bitch. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I know that someone's gonna say, "Well, Jonathan, you're being a sexist." No, no, I'm not. Listen to what Ann Coulter has to say. Okay, I have been a Republican the majority of my adult life, and I'll be happy to tell you, no, just no. Like I will hold up a cross. Okay, but here's the thing. Here's the thing. I have oh I have not listened to her entire set, but the comedians who wrote her jokes for her have even said that she chose to ignore what they had to say. Funny people wrote her jokes for her, and she said, "No, I got this. I got this." And it wound up being her uh, standing up there. And in the words of Rob Lowe himself, this is the only bombing that she cannot blame on a Muslim. Yeah. She
I'm sure she'll
apparently
find a way.
she no 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 she thinks that she was the funniest person on the stage and that everyone else is being on deck. You can go fucking find this. Go Google it right now. You can read it for yourself. She thinks she's the funniest person that was on the stage. And I'm like, no, Anne, no, no. You tried to to get people to buy your book. No, no, you weren't funny. And really, with it being 2 days away from the anniversary of 9/11, okay. Oh God. Okay. Here's the thing. I have found some 9/11 jokes to be some of the funniest fucking jokes I've ever heard in my life. Okay. Schadenfreude is a real thing. Okay. Let's just be realistic here. Okay. Goddamn. My favorite 9/11 joke up until I heard the jokes in this roast has always been. I understand that 9/11 was a terrible thing. And it's so very sad that 3,000 people died that day. It's a horrible event. It generally changed the world we live in. But God damn it, why was my Jenga tournament canceled that night? That is one of the funniest
That's
jokes
pretty
I've ever
funny.
heard. It's terrible, but it's funny. But no, Pete Davidson, who's someone else on Saturday Night Live, actually had some better jokes made about his father. Now, those of you who don't know, his dad was killed on 9/11. Okay, so David Spade. Oh, by the way, the people who made these jokes about Ann Coulter are being accused of being Hollywood elites. Okay, David Spade is a Hollywood elite now. Apparently, he's C actor, whatever. Anyway, um, he comes out and he's
I feel like
talking.
anyone. I feel like they just label anyone in Hollywood as Hollywood elite whenever they do something.
Apparently, apparently, whenever they actually make a funny joke, and these were some funny jokes. God damn, they were funny jokes. Let's be realistic here. They're funny jokes. Apparently, when they make a funny joke about a wealthy white woman, it makes someone elite and it makes them racist.
Somehow, I don't understand how.
Anyway, anyway,
Okay.
David Spade comes out and he's talking about Pete Davidson. He says, "Pete, are you white or are you black? We need to know so that Ann Coulter can know whether she hates you or not." And he says that Pete Davidson's father, of course, never lived to see him on Saturday Night Live because Pete Davidson's father was killed on 9/11. Pete Davidson's mother has also never seen him on Saturday Night Live because his mom blinks. And then he says, "Pete, it's not your fault that you have your father's ashy skin."
Oh, that's
Yeah. Yes, that is an evil joke. That is an evil joke, but it's fucking hilarious when you think about it. I mean, like the other option was calling Ann Coulter a cunt. And that's the worst thing that was on the show. No, you're talking about someone's dead father. But in Pete Davidson's defense, he's learned to laugh about it. You know, of course he misses his dad. It's a terrible thing, but it's been 15 years here. Uh, and I guarantee you that when people say never forget, in fact, I know starting tomorrow, that's what you're going to see everywhere is hashtag never forget. It was the greatest day in American history. All these people died, and they did it because the Muslims and that fucking nigger Obama. That's what you're going to hear for like the next 2 days, 2 or 3 days. That's what you're going to see. I guarantee it because it happens every year. It's like seeing it on Memorial Day or Veterans Day. You see all these posts about
I
support the military, but the rest of the year it's all this cat pictures and bullshit because no one gives a good goddamn the rest of the year. It's only on specific days that
I still
Americans
don't
hashtag
I
never
still
forget.
don't understand. I still don't understand how Obama is connected to 9/11. How do you make that connection? It's
Donald Trump.
is- what? I don't know. Oh, and speaking of the military, yeah, military. Let's talk about the military for a second.
Okay, what about him?
So, how do you misplace, I don't know, like a couple $100 billion?
It wasn't a couple hundred billion. It was a quarter of our national budget, Nick.
Oh, yeah. Hmm. How do you just casually misplace that?
You just do apparently.
I Do they need accountants? I have a degree in accounting. I mean,
Probably.
do they need
I mean,
me
it
to
really
come
wouldn't
down
help,
there?
really, to be honest. I mean, see, this is like what I said about when we're talking about Colin Kaepernick. That was what we heard about rather than something like this. This is more important. This was so much more important. We're looking at a quarter of the national budget has just disappeared. It's just vanished. We don't know where it went. Trillions of I think it's something like $17 trillion. Where the fuck did the money go? Where did it go? God damn.
I mean, I think I remember seeing someone comment about how $80 billion was too much for free college tuition or something. So why aren't people freaking out about, I don't know, $17 trillion missing?
See,
I
here's the thing. 51% of our national budget every year since Ronald Reagan was in office has been devoted to the military. 51%, okay? But
did I
a fucking
did I
quarter
mention?
of our national budget has gone missing this year by the military. So that means half of the money that the military got has just up and vanished. What? Did the Joker walk in and set that shit on fire? Is that what
Did I
happened?
mention did I mention I hate Ronald Reagan? I just wanna. Did
I
I
think you
mention that?
have.
Okay, just making sure. Um, yeah. So I why is there not a panel? Why is this not under investigation by the House and Senate?
Because American
I
lives were
want
not lost, Nick. This didn't happen in Benghazi. Like there's no
I want
realistically
hearings.
there is no name you can attach to this that has to deal with the Muslims and that nigger we have a president up there who's just a Muslim born in Kenya, that un-American son of a bitch. I will be so glad when that man leaves office. I will be so glad when he leaves. I don't have to hear it anymore. God forbid Hillary gets elected and all we hear is Benghazi, Benghazi, Benghazi. Shut the fuck up about Benghazi already. Just shut the fuck up. Shut the fuck up. 4 people are dead. It's a terrible event. Move on. There are other things that happen. In fact, you know what? I have to take a personal moment here because I I don't want to mention this person who they are in relation to me, but I was having a conversation with someone last night who was drinking. They were like in the course of 15 minutes or so, they went through, I don't know, 4 beers, 5 beers. Um, who called me stupid repeatedly for watching the news and everything else, saying I don't understand what's going on. Yes, individual, I understand what's going on. I understand better than you do because I'm not someone who actively supports Donald Trump for president. And when they asked me why, I started listing reasons, like actual reasons. Well, you would vote for Hillary in favor of him. I said, no, motherfucker, I just fucking said to you, I'm not voting for Trump or Hillary. And I appreciated to list more reasons why I'm not voting for him. Okay, so here's the thing. Here's the thing. Here's the thing. I don't know what the fuck happened to all this money that the military has lost, but I damn sure know there's a way to find out. And I don't know what the fuck is going on in the country, but I can find out, and I can probably talk circles around you while I do it. So shut the fuck up. Anyway, personal moment over. I'm sorry.
I I genuinely oh, the the moment that this news story broke, you know all those email scandals and Benghazi committees and shit like that?
Yep.
Why is that not happening for this?
Because
Because
you cannot attach a single word to this that can become a buzzword. Oh, the military lost $17 trillion. Okay, well,
how about the
um,
buzzword of $17 trillion?
look, okay, look, Nick, you cannot say hashtag $17 trillion, or even hashtag 17 trillion, and that be as catchy as hashtag Benghazi. I mean, for God's sake, Nick, never forget.
Yes, I will never forget that the military somehow lost half of its budget.
Think
I will
about that
never
shit for a
forget
second.
that.
Like genuinely, just pause here and let me express this thought, and this be something that registers in your brain. Okay, when we talk about hashtag never forget, let's think about what we remember. Okay, we remember the Alamo. We remember Pearl Harbor. We remember Benghazi. So, and we remember 9/11. Okay, we're talking about mostly monosyllabic phrases here. Maybe as most as 2 syllables. And like I said, and I was kind of joking earlier when I said this, but I'm not joking now. We really only have specific days where we remember these things, and most people don't worry about it the rest of the year. But they're like, never forget. Never forget by itself is like 2 syllables. So never forget. That's like maybe three. Okay, so you're looking at very simple statements here, and then everyone forgets it the rest of the time. It's because that's how buzzwords work. The American people are that dumb.
I mean, contrary to what most people think, America has never been a very smart country. In fact, we often import people for their smartness. Yeah, Albert Einstein was not
But
from
wait,
America.
Nick, we can't do that. We can't bring these people over here because they're illegal. In fact, didn't you know that that fucking Muslim in office right now has been importing all these Mexicans? Didn't you know? Didn't you know that?
I had no idea. In fact, I thought that he reduced immigration by the biggest margin in a long time.
Oh, but that just makes you stupid if you can back that shit up. I mean, it's not like I've looked at the FBI, the INS, the Border Patrol, and the gold fucking standard for things like this Pew Research Center, and looked at their evidence. It's not like I can't explain demographics to you. Like, for example, I live in Texas. Texas, California, Florida has got the highest Hispanic populations anywhere in the country. Okay, that's why. There's a reason why. That's because that's where they went. It's because that was areas that was traditionally owned by Mexicans. Okay, that's fine. Understandable. Demographics fucking matter here. Okay. It's like, for example, we have a high population of black people here. Do you know why? Because a lot of them are descendants of slaves. And oh, my goodness, could it be that the city I live in, the county I lived in, actually had one of the higher of numbers of slaves in it because of one family that lived here? Could that be like there's a book published about the history of slavery in the state of Texas, and guess what? The city I live in is mentioned in this book. Okay, that's why we have a high population of blacks here. It's why we have a number of Mexicans here. So to me, to bitch about these people being in school, to hear a white man bitch about these people being in our public schools is a little bit crazy. Because when you think about it, it don't make no sense to bitch about it. It's a fact. It's a numerical fucking fact. Demographics matter, okay? And you can look at demographics for here or anywhere else, and you get the understanding of why, for example, black men can shoot themselves more than a police officer ever has. It's because when you have an area, it could be a black neighborhood, white neighborhood, mixed neighborhood, whatever. The crime that happens in the neighborhood happens because the people there commit the crimes on themselves. Okay, you're not going to see someone over in my neighborhood walk across to the other side of town and go commit a crime over there. No, they're going to do it in their own neighborhood because that's the demographic. It's the neighborhood they know. It's the one they can watch, see easiest. Okay, it's like going to a fucking school. That's why the population demographics are a thing. They're a thing. You can't overlook facts. In fact, you can't bend reality until it works for you. It doesn't work that way. This is not the world that we live in. And I'm sorry to say this, but certain individuals in this country are wrong. Individuals like Ann Coulter are wrong. You're wrong. I'm sorry. 41% of the illegal immigrants we have in the United States, 41% are Mexican. That is not the majority. That is the single largest demographic of illegal immigrants, but they are not the majority. 41% is not a majority because that means you have whatever the rest of the number is. Because I'm not going to do the math right now, okay? Because you can do it yourself, Nick. 41% out of 100 is like 69, whatever it is, whatever something like that, 59, whatever it is, right?
59. 59.
Yeah, that means far more people are here illegally from other areas other than Mexico, but yet the Mexicans take the largest brunt of it. And as we've discussed before, there's a reason we have so many Mexicans here. It's because we destroyed their economy back in the 80s with NAFTA. Oh, but that's just ridiculous. How could that possibly be? Well, for starters, the North American Free Trade Agreement, we sent all of our corn down there. In fact, we have a problem with corn here. We're having to find other uses for it because there's too much corn. We have too much corn and we can't give it to Mexico. And when we did, that destroyed that was one of their major their exports was corn. They don't have a reason to export anymore, so everyone switched to making tequila. Okay, the agave plant takes at minimum 7 years for a plant to become mature enough. Oftentimes it's 15 years. Well, that was fine. More people switched over to making agave to produce tequila. And that's a wonderful thing because tequila is amazing. Now, the problem with that is that tequila has already lost its popularity in the number one consumer of it in the world, the United States. Okay? Whiskey has now become the most popular thing. And if you look at the places in Kentucky that produce bourbon, or you look over in Scotland where they produce actual whiskey, they're having an issue there. They can't produce it fast enough, and it's causing economic problems. Okay? Consumerism in the United States actively affects everyone else in the world. It really does, especially places that we have trade with like that. And to me, to say that it's ridiculous that someone over in those countries, well, they just need to take their country back from the drug cartels, is completely overlooking the reason that they have drug cartels there to begin with. And that would be the United States. I'm
Yay,
sorry.
America drug you. We only, supply almost all of their buyers, you know. If you want to stop the drug cartels, guess what, America? you could, I don't know, stop buying drugs? Maybe?
Oh, but you can't do that.
If, if,
You can't stop buying the drugs. I mean, you have to buy the drugs. I mean, goddamn.
I mean, if you want to stop sex trafficking, you know what you could do? You could stop buying sex workers or yeah, or prostitutes or you could stop doing that.
We, I am dead serious. We genuinely have some stupid people in this country, and here in like a month and a half, we're going to see that come to a head because we're either going to have Hillary Clinton, who everyone is like, Hillary Clinton, yay, she's been involved in politics for 40 years, yay, first female president, yay, but then you think about it, oh, okay, what about all the email scandals? Okay, while I agree that the 9 different investigations into her found absolutely nothing wrong, when you think about it, there were 9 investigations. Okay, she's been accused of lying. She's been called a fraud. She has some disastrous fucking policies. Let's not get into them right now because I'll get too pissed off. But if you look at her versus Donald Trump, you either have the option of someone who is going to get us involved in numerous wars and probably get the country destroyed, or you have someone who's going to build a $127 trillion wall around it and then bitch about police violence and everything else that's going on in the country. So he's going to wall us in with all of these violent immigrants. That makes so that America is fucking doomed in November either way you look at it, and that's being generous. That is me being generous right now. But that's what we're
Well,
facing in
I
November.
want I want to understand how building a giant wall is more reasonable than paying for college
It's not because
for
fuck people
for
going to
students.
college. I mean, it's not like we have the highest percentage of college students anywhere in the world in here, and it's not like our economy is not floated on it, as proven by Michio Kaku.
That's also, have you seen the Donald Trump commercial about Hillary Clinton?
I don't want to.
I mean, it's your general negative attack ad, but there's just one line in there that kind of made me pause for a second and just wonder plan to, how they justify the statement, in which they say that under Hillary Clinton's policies, hundreds of thousands of jobs would be lost. Now, I could maybe understand them saying thousands, maybe even tens of thousands, but I really want to understand how hundreds of thousands of jobs would be lost. Like, do people realize the incredible disaster that would need to occur for that to really happen?
Is this the taco truck thing? Because I'll be honest, I am in favor of a taco truck being on every corner.
Well, that also confused me because if there is a taco truck on every corner, then isn't she creating more jobs?
Yes.
But then how are we losing hundreds of thousands of jobs? Are they
I
just saying
I
that
don't
people are
know.
transferring?
I genuinely don't
Are,
know. But like we're
are
getting close
people
to the end of the show,
transferring their
and
jobs
hey,
from some taco trucks?
Nick, we're getting close to the end of
I'm
the show.
sorry,
Hey,
Donald Trump is stupid, and I can't understand what he's trying to say. Someone help me, please.
there's no help. But I do want to touch on a few stories really quickly. Like for the fact that the giant panda is no longer endangered.
Yay, we actually did
Yeah,
something good.
yeah.
What,
Apparently,
what
being a
is
conservative
life?
actually works when it comes to giant fucking pandas.
Whoa, awesome.
Yeah,
Hooray for pandas.
it actually is awesome. It really is. And I do want to mention really quickly. I'm excited. I'm very excited. We all know I am a fan of Gotham, and it's coming back September 19th. That's like a week from now. Holy shit, a little over a week from now. Season 3 has already got its title. It is Gotham Mad City. I'm excited for this. I really am. Especially because it comes on the heels of everyone's favorite movie that for some reason is still in my local theater, and that would be Suicide Squad. I don't know why it's still here, Nick. I really don't know why. It's been here a month.
Going to see it?
I did see it.
Do they have nothing
I
else to show? No, I know you saw it. I'm just saying, did no one, do they have nothing else to show? I mean,
I don't know.
I,
I don't know.
I thought the theater died for that a while ago.
See, the weird thing is that that a normal theatrical run is like 2 weeks. So that means Suicide Squad has been in theaters on its first run for over a month now. And like I said, it's for some reason still here. I don't know why. But I do want to say, I
I'm
can't
gonna
believe
look at the box office numbers for that because
I cannot believe I'm going to
I'm
say this.
confused.
Yes, I had problems with Suicide Squad.
Do tell, do tell.
Oh, okay. It's kind of hard to do it and it not be spoilery, but yeah, I had a few issues with Suicide Squad. Namely, the concern that was like the big concern that I had for Dawn of Justice is that it was rushed. No, the Ultimate Edition actually expands on a few things that are in the story that could have been there in the theatrical release and it would have been fine. You know, it wouldn't hurt anything at all. Like for example, in that movie, in the Ultimate Edition, you get to see Batman break into LexCorp and a couple other things, which would have been fucking amazing to see. Like for example, there's a very quick scene where it's video cam footage, and they're watching the break in, and
I haven't seen the Ultimate Edition yet, but I remember the link you showed me about the sins, the movie sins for the extended edition,
yeah,
and just looking at the scenes that were cut out, and what were they thinking? Because just any number of those scenes would have made the movie a whole hell of a lot better.
they should have been
I
left
still
in.
have
They
problems
should
with
have been
it.
left in. I'm sorry, but I would like to. I would love to have seen a fully done scene of Batman breaking into LexCorp, like just that one quick clip where he comes down like with the cape flung up, and the cape closes around this bad guy, and then he goes back up into the ceiling, and the guys start shooting. That's fucking amazing. That shit's amazing. I would like to have
Like, and
seen that.
and the commentary on the bat branding and how it made so much more sense in the extended edition compared to,
Yeah,
the
yeah.
theatrical release.
The theatrical release only acknowledged there having been two criminals who were branded, and it's a death sentence because one asshole got stabbed. Okay, sure. The Ultimate Edition leaves a few uh openings here in the storyline, and that's understandable. But still, it makes the movie better. It should have been left in. It should have been. And now, see, here's the thing. Supposedly there are scenes
I,
that were supposedly there were scenes that were cut for Suicide Squad's theatrical release. Okay, most of the scenes apparently involve the Joker, and I'll be honest, uh, the context of the Joker in just in this movie, just in Suicide Squad, I don't like him. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I love Jared Leto. I have loved everything he's ever been in, but just him, just his version of the character in this particular movie, no, I cannot get behind that. Okay, now if
I,
now
I have a really big, I have, wait, I have a really big problem with one of the scenes they cut out with the Joker. Um, and do you remember when the Joker pushes Harley out the helicopter?
yes,
And it looks like he's saving her, right?
yes,
Okay, in the extended cut, he actually does that before he knows the helicopter is going to get blown up, and he's actually just trying to get rid of her.
Which is more fitting for the character. Holy shit! I'm sorry, everyone. Like, I don't want to ruin this for you, but the idea that Harley Quinn and the Joker are the greatest pairing in comic books history, no. No, you live in a very sad, lonely world if you think that. Like, I don't know what the fuck's going on with people who genuinely think that. I'm like, goddamn, the Joker is a psychotic piece of shit. He treats her like trash. Goddamn. Even in the animated series, which is where she was created. Which, by the way, its birthday was this a week. It turned 25. We're old people. We're old anyway. Um. He treats her like there is a scene where he throws her out a window, and then he actually kicks her out of the door like she's in a nightie trying to be cute, and this is the whole don't you want to rev your Harley type joke type thing. And he kicks the bitch out the door. Okay? We're talking about someone who was able to turn her psychological analysis of him back around on her and use it to completely corrupt her mind. This is a terrible relationship. And the movie treats it, oh, it's just a love story. She genuinely loves him. Of course she genuinely loves him because he twisted her into doing it. Okay? And
I
and
I,
were
I
the
I want to let I want to let anyone or everyone know that if for one brief moment in time or second that you think that the Joker and Quinn are a model couple, number one, you should go see a psychologist. Number two, you should not have children. Number three, you seriously need help. Please go see a psychologist. Please.
see look okay. Here's my big thing
I
about the movie.
genuinely mean that. I genuinely mean that. Go see a psychologist.
Okay,
You
hang on.
need help.
Here is my big thing about the movie. Okay. I admit very freely I did like it. Suicide Squad actually is a good movie for what it is. But with all the I still have problems with it. Okay, Enchantress. I'm sorry, but like we said a while back, she was going to be the villain. It's very very heavily telegraphed. It really is. Um, Carly Delevingne is an amazingly beautiful woman. She's amazingly talented. But this was a strange thing for her to do. I mean, like if you watch her, she does this little twitchy type thing. I'm like, oh, okay, that's what's weird. Uh, the uh, the portrayal of Diablo was wonderful. I loved it. But it's been compared to the Hulk in the Marvel movies, where he's like, well, you don't really want me to fight because if I fight, some bad shit's gonna happen. Nah, 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 nah. And they actually cut out portions of the dialogue that would have made him a much more tragic character than he. Now, granted, the storyline you get in the movie is very tragic. It really is. But they cut out portions of the dialogue that would have explained it more, that would have gotten a better reaction. A lot of the actual jokes in there were cut out, and it's very, very noticeable. And this is the only spoiler I'm going to give here. Okay, the only spoiler I'm going to give. It's very noticeable in the bar scene. Uh, when Rick Flag walks in and he says, "All of y'all are free to go," and he crushes the detonator device thingy. Captain Boomerang actually gets up and runs the fuck out of the bar. Okay, that was fitting with Captain Boomerang's character. Him getting up and running out was wonderful. Okay, but then the next scene where that's after that's over with, you see him again. He's just rejoined the group, like ha 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 ha. And of course, the Joker comes and rescues Harley, and then she shows up like, "Hi guys, I'm still here. I never left. Yeah, no, 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 guys, don't do that to a movie. Come on now, come on."
Well,
The, the,
and here's probably my biggest problem with it is, and I think I've said this before. I always felt like they were trying to turn this into Guardians of the Galaxy, the movie. They were trying to make a DC version of that, basically. And that's not Suicide Squad. Suicide Squad is not Guardians of the Galaxy. They don't really become friends. They don't become one big happy family. They don't make that connections. That's not what this is about. And I'm not sure that DC understands that, or the executives understand that, or someone doesn't seem to understand that. That's not what it's not what Suicide Squad is.
It's not. I mean, okay. Look, here's the thing. They crammed a bunch of Oscar winners and nominees in this movie, which is kind of typical for superhero movies. You want actors like that because people will go see them. Will Smith fucking carries the movie. Okay, he carries everyone else in this movie, and that is no disrespect to Margot Robbie or anyone else that's in the film. But Will Smith definitely carries the movie. The Deadshot character is the most fleshed out character, like, and it's amazing, like knowing how Deadshot is in the comics. That's exactly what you get from Will Smith, and a lot of people have said that this is just Will Smith being Will Smith. I would argue with you that Deadshot is Will Smith's iconic character. Okay, it's
Well,
just like it's just like Ryan Reynolds being Deadpool. Will Smith fits with Deadshot, okay? But they do give him this character, like he's the only one that's fully developed. You see where he starts, where he finishes the movie. It's a complete turn. It's completely what you would not expect from Deadshot as a character, and it's wonderful. It's really cool that they did it to me. The portrayal of Amanda Waller in this, she's a bitch. There's no way around it. She's a complete bitch. Okay, you know what? Other spoiler here. She executes a room full of people because they didn't have clearance for what was going on in the scene. It's very typically Amanda Waller, and I loved the portrayal that they had of her in the movie. Everyone individually was actually fantastic in their roles. They really were. It's just the storyline of the movie was very, very rushed, and I think there were better ways to do it, but it's fine. We still got a Suicide Squad movie. It still did very well, and visually it was amazing. It was a lot of fun to go see, and I actually would recommend it. Problems aside.
I, I mean, the, the DC movies for me are just so conflicting in my head because I see what they want to do. I have an idea of what they want to do, and but I can't get past some of the flaws, the things that are just so conceptually off to me that it makes it really hard for me to enjoy the movies. Um, and for just simple thing or not, I wouldn't say simple things, like major things for me. It's uh, we've talked before about Superman killing Zod and how off that felt and wrong that felt. Batman killing people just feels off.
It doesn't me,
The
but
way
that's
they're,
me.
huh?
I said Batman killing people is not off to me because I'm sorry, but the ridiculous thing about Batman doesn't kill people. No, Batman kills people. Read the comics.
Yeah, I mean, I know very, it largely depends on the comic, um, and he has clearly killed many, many, many people. But besides that point, the portrayal of what they were trying to turn Suicide Squad into, I just have a lot of genuine problems with a lot of what DC's shown so far. I'm really hoping that Wonder Woman and Justice League can, I guess, fix some of these things because I am really excited for Justice League. And Wonder Woman does look really promising. But I'm really worried. It's just I don't know if it's the DC writers or producers or Zack Snyder or the WB executives. I don't know what's wrong, but there's something very wrong to me with this franchise or this universe.
Well,
And maybe it's because I think of DC primarily from the 90s cartoons and the early 2000 cartoons. And I know the comics are much darker and more grim and things like that, but it still feels off to me. It really genuinely does. And I, I have a hard time describing. It's not that I hate DC. I like DC. I loved Superman was one of my favorite cartoons growing up. I loved watching Justice League. I like watching the new cartoons. The Flash TV show is one of my favorite TV shows. I like DC, but the DC movieverse has just been really it, and the thing is it's not that terribly bad where it's unwatchable or anything. It's just it feels off. I genuinely feel uncomfortable watching some of these DC movies.
well, we can get into that in the future episode because I mean we've been going like an hour and a half now, so
I guess.
I don't want to cut you off, but I think that's probably a good spot to end on right there. Is possible future topic we can talk about.
But yay, we saved the pandas.
Yay for pandas! Yay! Yay! Anyway, thank you for watching so very much. Thank you for even if you just listen, thank you for listening. Please remember to like this video, comment it, share it, subscribe it everywhere. Um, like us on Facebook. Please visit our Patreon. Again, we're only asking for $1 donation. Just $1. You know, um, it's like going to McDonald's. You eat off the dollar menu. We're the dollar menu. Yay! We're cheap and affordable, but we're the best thing you're gonna have.
Well, actually, I'd rather be the Wendy's Junior
Shut
Bacon
the hell up, Nick.
Cheeseburger because, hey,
Hey,
that Junior
hey,
Bacon
hey.
Cheeseburger is the best thing that you can buy for $1.
Shut up, Nick.
You know I'm right.
I'm right. I'm right. Shut the hell up. Anyway, message us on Twitter and Facebook, and if you play Blizzard games, add me on BattleTag. We are going to eventually, at some point in time, go back into live streaming some Hearthstone. I have genuinely just dropped the fucking ball with my progression in Hearthstone, because of Legion. But we'll have some more Hearthstone streams at some point in time. So anyway, that's going to be it for today. So thank you for watching. We certainly appreciate all of our viewers.
Goodbye, everybody. Have a great weekend.
Bye everybody, and never forget